Now we will start with the questions. So I see that there are already some questions in the channel. So first questions for Alban. I see that Alban, you already answered some of these. Maybe we can say some of this question out loud to everyone. So I will start for you. Did you consider any rounded particles, or did you try other type of sands? And also, how long were your simulation running?
Yes, thank you for the question. So actually, what I was answering is that I considered rounded particles in my simulations, but there is a parameter that is a shape factor that you can use to model different, I would say, averaging shape of grains. But of course, we cannot. It's not a DEM simulations. We cannot compute the actual rounded particle, but we spatial average each cell according to a certain value of the solid volume fractions. So the average quantity of particles contained in one cell. Yes, and about the numerical run of my simulations, it's very long, it's very expensive. The one that I showed you lasts more over 3 months, I think. But because I used a very fine turbulence modeling, which is called large eddy simulations, which is quite expensive, and also lots of cells. I used the 7 million mesh cells. Sorry.
Thank you, Alban. We also have another question for you. Did you simulate waves and current on the same configuration, I think?
I'm working on it because what we can do in set form is to add a constant pressure gradient and also oscillatory pressure gradient, so we can combine both of them to simulate combining wave and currents flows. But still, I need to work on that to perform accurate simulation.
Another question for you. You have all the questions today. I'm interested to know what hydrodynamic meteorology inputs did you use for the set form model? Was it from the physical tank modeling or from some measurements at ACP or buoys?
Yeah, so it was a measurement from the experiment of Roulund and 2000 et al. Study done in 2005. So he used laser Doppler measurements to measure the velocity profiles at the inlet. So I'm just trying to reproduce a constant steady profile in my inlet boundary condition.
And the last one for you also. Very interesting presentation. Michael's modeling of a monopile appears to show more accumulation rather than scour compared to Alban's results. Is this correct? And do you have any thoughts on why the results differ?
So probably you mean that there is more accumulations downstream the pile, I suppose. So Michael modeling is very different from mine. I model very small scales of turbulence, and I believe that in the wake of the pile, my simulations can resolve more smaller turbulence eddy that can put into suspensions a particle, which in Michael's model maybe they cannot be modeled such fine vertical structures downstream. But if you, Michael, if you want to add something on that, you can. Do you share my opinion or not?
We'll see that in the discussion maybe. Another question for Stefan and Jean, this one. So have you defined any no-go areas for the substation and or the cable routing because of dunes? And are there no showstopper from dune migration?
Stefan doesn't have a mic. Okay, I will go. To my knowledge, no. There was no within this project no area. Well, no go area. At least for the cable routing. I'm not sure about the definition of the place of the substation, but it influences, of course. We had preferences, and it's certainly guided the way the cable was routed and the location of the substation in order to minimize the works, for example, for dredging, or the risk of having the cable deburied, or any or to limit also the extent of works such as scour protection and so on. So there was no showstopper. However, in some other projects, because here it was not possible to avoid the dunes, we had to cross them to go to the coast with cable route. But on some other projects, for the Dieppe-le-Tréport project, which is in the coast of Normandy, there was some sandbanks, and we managed to avoid them during the cable engineering. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jean. Don't know if Stefan, you have your mic working again.
Maybe, I don't.
It seems to be freeze. Yeah.
Yeah.
We move to the next question. So have you considered potential compounding effect from cable installation, then followed by the use of cable protection? I think it's for Stefan or you, Jean.
Yes, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Have you considered potential compounding effects from cable installation, then followed by the use of cable protection?
I'm not sure this was a study, because this is in two different time scales. The effects of cable installation is more temporarily during the works, and then the effects of scour protection is more in the long run. So, to my understanding, it does not really accumulate.
Okay, thank you. I have one last question. This one is for me, I think. Maybe more like a comment. With regard to the sediment accumulation behind the monopile in Noémie Durand's modeling, I was going to comment on this. There was an interesting paper presented by Chris Answorth from Bangor University in the last Telemac user conference. I think I've seen this paper. It's to do with the calculation of bedsheet stress. Okay, I've seen this paper, I think, but I will share this information with Noémie. She should be very interested by this paper, but I think she was on this conference, so maybe just seen this this presentation. Another question just come for the War Package 3. What horizontal mesh resolution has been used to resolve the dune migration, and with what kind of sediment transport formula? Actually, there was two models in the War Package 3. So I used the Croco model. For this, I have spatial resolution of 5 meters, and I used the sediment transfer formula described by Wu and Lin in 2014. I remember well. And on the Telemac side, the spatial resolution over the study areas were with a maximum of 10 meters. And Noemi used the Soulsby-Van Rijn formula from 1997, if I remember well the dates. I do not see any more questions. I want to thank everyone from this webinar. We will conclude this meeting. So thank you for all the team who work on this reunion and on the project. Thanks to all participants for today's meeting. Just to let you know that all presentations were recorded today and will be available on the France Énergie Marine YouTube channel. So if any of your colleagues are interested in this work and could not be here today, please feel free to share this presentation with them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. But in the meantime, thank you very much. I hope you have learned a lot of things today, and I wish you a good afternoon, and I say goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you all.
Thank you.